Hello, everyone. Okay, so children, young children especially, um, please go to your parents right now and ask if you're allowed to learn about transgender people and like LGBTQ plus people in general. Please go ask your parents that right now because I do not want angry parents screaming at me like you poisoned my child. So please go and ask your parents if that's okay before I get accused of poisoning children or whatever. Um, okay, I'm just gonna wait. Alright, moving on. Firstly, or second, I don't even know anymore. You see, my brain is fried from finals. Which, by the way, it's finals week, so if I look like a mess, if my room looks like a mess, if you're gonna insult me over that, that's fine. I feel like a mess. um, and now, also, as it is finals week, I do not have the energy to actually sit back and like record this over and over again and make a script and video edit it. I also don't have video editing software. I have QuickTime Player and that's about it. That's as much as you get from me. So, if you're gonna if you don't like that, just, I don't know what to tell you. It's really unpolished. Anyways, hello, my lovely parkroaches. By the way, that's your fandom name. That's what I decided your fandom name is. You can take it or leave it. I was not trying to be condescending when I made that name. I just thought it was funny, and then someone was like, "Isn't this condescending?" And I was like, "Oh, whoops. Sorry about that." Um, Today's video is going to be me ranting about transracial people because this really bugs me. Transracial people you don't have to watch, so you can go. Transphobes in general, you don't have to watch. You can go. I am not forcing you to watch this video. If you don't like what I talk about, leave. I don't care. If you stay, you can't complain to me about how I feel attacked. Why did you have to go after me? You did not have to watch the video. You really didn't. Anyways, like I said, this is at the top. This is from the top of my head because I am in no way, shape, or form creating a script for this. So, hello. Um, this is also specifically this is going to be about Ollie London because he's a big. Okay, sorry, they are. Sorry about that. I might not like them, but I'm not going to misgender them on purpose. They are like this big prominent figure in the transracial movement. So this is specifically talking about Ollie London mostly. If there are others, then I will name them by name. I'm not gonna be like generally because otherwise people are gonna be like, well, what about this person? What if? And then I'll just, so this is just about specific people. Also, I get to speak about this because I'm an Asian person. Korean specifically. So I have the right to talk about someone who's transitioning to becoming a Korean because I am Korean. If I already said that. I'm sorry, I'm a mess right now. What can I say? Basically, if you don't know already, Ollie London is this person who, born a white person, got into K-pop, decided I'm gonna become a Korean person. And that's what they're doing right now. They get a bunch of surgeries, like eye surgery, I don't know what else, facial surgeries basically, to make themselves look Korean. And they go by they them pronouns. Some people say it's a marketing gimmick, some people say it's not. I'm not gonna chance it, even if I don't even if I thought it was real or if I didn't think it was real. I'm still gonna call people by the pronouns they want or have been or told me to go by. So, therefore, I will be using they them pronouns for Ollie London. Please keep that in mind. Now, Ollie London, he really. Sorry, they. Right after I said that, I'm so sorry. They rose to fame because they were like this Jimin obsessed person who wanted to. Okay, I think they've married a cardboard cutout of Jimin. Could be wrong. I'm pretty sure it happened though. They got a bunch of surgeries, spent a bunch of money to look Korean, to various results. Kind of depends on who you ask. Some people might say, oh my gosh, it's working, and some people might say, yo, what the fudge? So, there's that. Um, they're just this person who really is into Asian culture. Let's just leave it at that. Um, Basically, see, I have a bunch of vices with people Ollie London specifically, who says, I'm going to become a Korean person, right? I'm going to become a Korean person. Ow, this hurts my fingers. Sorry. Basically, firstly, by saying you are transitioning to becoming a Korean person, by saying you are a transracial person, you make it the whole rest of the trans community's business. Now you're dragging the rest of us in. And you're like, this is your business now too. If you say you're not allowed to be transracial, you're being transphobic. By the way, I can't be transphobic, so because I'm trans, so I'm allowed to make this video. Thank you. But like basically, that's what you're doing. You're like, you know what? I'm gonna bring the rest of the community in. You make the rest of the community look bad sometimes, especially if you're like this. Especially if you're gonna be like, I'm transitioning to becoming a Korean. You make the rest of the community look bad. Like, I'm sorry, but that's what it is. Okay? Like, y'all can come after me or whatever, but that's what it is. Because now there's, like, the conservative people or whatever who are like, oh, now all trans people must be like this. Like, lumping everyone together and generalization occurs. Because now it's this one person, this huge prominent figure, this one person is transitioning to becoming Korean. So now, as a result, or like also with that must mean all trans people are like that. And thus people don't like us even more, because they're suddenly like, oh, now all trans people are like that. And then you have to deal with that. But, so there's that. But there's also the fact that you can't transition race, okay? I'm just gonna be completely honest with you. You can't transition race. Race, it is something you are born with. I was born Asian. There's nothing that's gonna change that, okay? I was born Asian, I've lived Asian. I don't know. I breathe Asian. I don't know what to say there. I'm Asian, basically. And I can't change that. If I wanted to become a white person, I couldn't, because I'm Asian. Okay? Like, I don't get that kind of choice. Right? But there's also the fact that you, as I'm trying to say this in friendly terms so that, like, people don't come after me, but you as, like, someone who, I guess, quote unquote, used to be a white person, big quotations here, you felt you get to choose. I'm gonna be Asian now. I didn't get that choice, okay? When I was born, I wasn't like, yo, I'm gonna be born Asian, because that sounds cool. I didn't get to choose. And as such, I don't get to choose. Asians born Asian don't get to choose that they are going to be sided with people who are going to discriminate against them their whole life. I've been lucky, and I haven't been discriminated against a lot for being Asian. At least not that I can remember. There might be suppressed memories, I don't know. But you didn't. But you don't have to live with that, because you are still largely a white person. I'm gonna say it, you're a white person, okay? Like, you are still largely a white person. And you didn't have to face that discrimination. You haven't had to face ancestrally discrimination against Asian people. Chinese people who were discriminated against a long time ago. This isn't even that long ago. Look, I'm bad with history, okay? But, like, people who were... There was the thing called the yellow peril or the yellow fever or whatever that they called Chinese people because the Chinese workers were, like, quote unquote stealing our jobs or whatever. and people just didn't like Chinese people. And then there was also all the stuff happening with COVID, right? And so Asian people are getting attacked because of COVID. And so if you're Asian, suddenly it's really dangerous for you because now if they look at you, they're like, oh my gosh, you're a Chinese person and you started COVID, so we're gonna attack you. Even if you're not Chinese, and even though you had absolutely nothing to do with the start of COVID in general, now suddenly you're getting attacked. You're getting air freshener sprayed at you, you are getting pushed over, you are getting slurs yelled at you. Ow, I hit myself. Stuff like that. And you didn't have to deal with that because you have lived your whole life as a white person until now, and even now, because I still understand you as a white person, okay? Like, nothing's gonna change that. Like, how do I say this? Mm, you didn't have to. That's just what it is. You didn't have to deal with all the discrimination. You didn't have to deal with that. And you still don't have to deal with that. If suddenly everyone was like, okay, we don't like Asians anymore, we're gonna start, like, I don't know, a Korean concentration camp. You have the choice. You have the choice to go and be like, ah, actually, I'm a white person, by the way. Leaving, right? And another, see, and this is gonna be definitely taken against me because people who are transphobic are gonna be like, oh, but like, trans people also, lol. But bringing this in, the next thing, you don't, you don't, from what I understand, from what I've seen of you, you don't really want to be Korean. Like, you might say that you want to be Korean, but you don't really want to be Korean. You want to be what you understand of Korean culture. You want to be a K-pop star. You want to be, exotic or whatever, and an acclaimed K-pop star. Is that even the word you're whatever? But see, how do I say this? You don't really care about the culture. And before you say, oh, but I do, I care about Korean culture, like, okay then, name things from Korean culture. Because clearly, judging by your Heart of Korea video or whatever it's called, you don't care about Korean culture. You, just for reference, you stuffed in Korean culture, Japanese culture, Chinese culture, and probably some more cultures in that one video. Despite naming the video Heart of Korea, there was not just Korean stuff in there. There was like other stuff in there. You don't really care about Korean culture. Like, you don't really. You're just doing this for like. You're just doing this to be exotic and like whatever. Okay, like. Now, some people might also, transphobes, might bring in the argument, oh, but what about transgender people? Huh? Aren't you doing this for attention? Huh? Sorry, I have to be really overdramatic. I'm a drama kid at heart. But like, they might say that. I am not doing this for attention. I have anxiety and I don't like being in the spotlight because I get really anxious about how people like look at me and how whatever if I might mess up. I am not doing this for attention. I don't like attention. I'm shy, I'm anxious, I'm an introvert. It might not show a lot in videos and stuff because I don't talk enough in videos, come to think of it, but I am an introvert. I don't like attention. I don't want attention. If I could, I would just like very quietly transition and that would be it, and everyone would just like, without fanfare, whatever. But so for people to say you're doing this for attention to transgender people, I wasn't doing it for attention. I was doing it to be authentic to myself. I was doing it because this is genuinely who I am. I wasn't doing it to be an attention seeker. And I still don't want that to be like my whole identity. But you, however, transracial Ollie London, what is with the whatever. See, it seems more like you're doing this for attention. From what I have seen, at least, from what I understand, you are doing this for attention. You are doing this to be recognized in a certain way. You're doing this whatever, okay? You're not doing this because you genuinely care about the culture, regardless of what you might say. You're just doing this for attention, and that's sad. Because I, as an Asian person, I deserve to be Asian people in general, we deserve to be more than just some exotic little, oh my gosh, look at this, right? We deserve to be more than that. We deserve to be more than something that you're just gonna rip off for little funsies here and there, right? We're not just exotic little things that you can like ogle at, that you can kind of take things from and then be like, look at how exotic I am. Because another thing, as someone who has lived their whole life being white and now transitioning to being Korean, I always have to use quotation marks. You get celebrated. You will get haters, yes. You will always have haters, but you get celebrated for being original and exotic and fresh and new and whatever. You get celebrated for all your procedures. You know, you get celebrated that you got Asian eyes now. Look at my Asian eyes. Look at how small and tiny and exotic and beautiful they are. I don't get celebrated for that. I get told, like, I might get told, like, can you even see out of those eyes? Your eyes are so small. Like, or things like that, right? I mean, honestly, I don't even hear that much because I live in a place where I don't get discriminated against. But people have, like, there are people who have been told that, like, why are your eyes so small? Why are you like this, like that, right? And it's the thing, you get celebrated because you get to be exotic and new and whatever, but we don't get celebrated. Like, it's not fair to real Asian people, okay? Like, it's just not. I don't know, okay? And look, I mean, I think I'm like generally almost, I always mix up genuinely and generally almost done with this video, but I just wanted to say, like, if you're gonna be like transphobic or rude in the comments, I'm just gonna like report and delete the comment. Like, I don't have the energy or time to sit back and argue with you about whatever. So, have a great day. I'm not gonna listen to you. I have no time. I actually have to study for my next exams, which are tomorrow. So wish me luck because oh, actually, I might not fail these ones. Ooh, wait, I have a presentation tomorrow. um Also, now people might say that I don't have the right to speak about this, but I do, because I'm Asian. And they might say, well, you're not trans, so you don't get to speak about this. But I do, because I'm trans. Um, I'm trans non-binary, and some people might say, well, non-binary isn't actually trans, right? Like, you don't, or trans med people might be like, well, you don't feel dysphoria, so you can't be trans. Well, I do. And if you want proof of that, too bad, because I don't got proof from my doctors. I don't owe you proof of my dysphoria, of my severe mental illness history, whatever. I don't owe you that. I am who I am. And you might be like, well, you know, you can't really exist because you're kind of somewhere in between. And you're not, you know, you can't be genderless or whatever. I'm gonna say it, I'm a demi boy, okay? Like, a demi boy is someone who's like, how do I say this? Kind of someone who's identifies sometimes as a demi, meaning sometimes, I think. Don't quote me on that. I was never good with Latin roots. Demi boy meaning like someone who's sometimes boy, sometimes something else. I'm sometimes boy, sometimes more boy, sometimes more agender, which is like genderless. And I'm allowed to feel that way. I don't have to look for your validation. I don't need your validation. I don't need you to say, you're allowed to exist, because I'm allowed to exist. I am right here. I do not care what you have to say about it. Children, if you're watching and you didn't ask your parents to watch this, please don't, yeah. Very sorry about that. Parents, if I have accidentally, like, poisoned your kid or whatever, as some might put it, I'm very sorry. I am genuinely very sorry for poisoning your kid. Um, yeah, sorry about that. Please don't come for me. I don't have enough money to pay for lawsuits. I don't think I'm old enough to pay for lawsuits. Um, yeah. Trans people, have a good life. Have a good day. If you've been binding for like over 12 hours, if you've been binding for like a really long time, uh, please, please get some rest. Okay, please, like, get some rest from binding because I know it might seem tough, but your ribs need it. Your ribs, your back, your spine, your chest, you need it. You need to take breaks or else you're gonna be in a lot of pain. This is coming from personal experience too. So please take a break from binding if you have been for a while. What else am I supposed to say here? I don't have any sponsors, so I can't say anything about that. But thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, please leave a comment, like, and subscribe. I actually don't care about that. That was a joke. You don't have to. Okay, I was just saying that as a joke. um, until next time, have a good day and stay hydrated. Take care. Please wear masks. It's COVID. We need masks. Please don't get sick. And yeah. Wow, this is really long. Bye!